Time start tomorrow, what, 9 o'clock? Something like that?
Are you 9 o'clock?
No, I'm like 4:30.
You're 4:30 tomorrow?
Perfect.
Oh my God, that's perfect.
Get a little nighttime action in there.
I think I get done with meetings at 4:30. But, if I'm playing, I've got to cancel those. So we shall see. Holy crap. We are live, everybody.
Wait, are we live?
We're live. We're so live. We're so goddamn live right now. Oh my goodness gracious. Then we got the camera set up too. Oh man, I'm feeling good about this one.
Yeah.
Absolutely good about it. Groups ahead of you are slow playing. They really are. Let's get rid of this thing real quick. Where the hell is this banner thing? Media assets. It's like the first time I've used this thing. Not true. No. Where the heck is this? Yeah, we don't need display names. There we go. Oh, we are rolling now, folks. People are starting to join in after the almost 25-minute delay.
Yeah.
Little technical difficulties. We were setting up on the 18th hole here at Grass Clippings for the Grass League Open starting tomorrow. And I'll tell you what, it did not go well because the wind is absolutely whipping out there right now. And that's why we moved it into the shop. We're in our nice little podcast studio in the shop here. Yeah,
this is start a fire.
This is quite nice. I got to be honest. Now, as we kick off this show and get this thing rolling, especially because we were so late. Normally we do like 5 minutes of just like shooting the shit for the live, and then I count us in and we do the live podcast recording. Not tonight. We're getting right into it. So actually, let me put the water down. In 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody, to Pull Hook Golf, the podcast. I'm your host, Matt Cook. Tonight, we've got the Butsy as our co-host. We've also got Mr. Todd Dobson from the Grass League itself. I mean, he's basically famous at this point, folks. Todd Dobson over at the Grass League. We're absolutely pumped to be here.
Yes, we are.
We've got some big news. Butsy is going to be playing tomorrow in the qualifier. So that's pretty exciting stuff. His tee time is 4:30.
4:34.
4:34 is the official tee time for Butsy. We're absolutely pumped about it. But on tonight's episode, we've got the Grass Clippings origin story that we're going to cover with Todd here, okay? We're going to get down to the bottom of Grass Clippings and what made it all so successful. Then we're going to talk about the Grass League. We're going to talk about the franchise ownership. We're going to talk about the 2024 Grass League Open. And then obviously we're going to talk a lot about the 2025 Grass League Open that is happening this week. I feel like you guys have taken over Arizona, especially the Phoenix area this week.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're just trying to put on a good event for golfers and put something on different that people are fired up to be here. And, it's not even, the tournament hasn't even started yet. And the golfers out there hanging by the bar and everything.
Dude,
I'm fired up. So
it is packed.
It is.
So this is pretty sweet that we are here with Todd Dobson over at the Grass League, but we're also going to talk about what is to come as well in the 2025 year for the Grass League.
And we're going to talk about Butsy tomorrow. He keeps tapping his feet over there. He's got the jitters. I mean, 4:34 tee time. I mean, there's going to be a huge gallery. I'll be out there following him. So
I will definitely be out there as well, just making sure that the man has his support. We are going to be pulling for you. Going to send all the good vibes possible, my man. But before we do begin, we do want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Devro Golf. I'm rocking the gear. Butsy is rocking the shirt as well. And folks, head on over to devrogolf.com. That's Devro with 3 E's, DEVEREUX, golf.com. And utilize the promo code PullHookGolf20 at checkout for 20% off your entire order at devrogolf.com. Let's talk a little bit real quick before we dive into the tee off report with Butsy, because we got a special tee off report with Butsy. This is the Grass League edition, but I just want to go over really quick the schedule of events, okay, that we have here at the 2025 Grass League Open. So tomorrow, Wednesday, April 30th is the qualifier, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Then we've got Thursday, May 1st, the first ever Grass League draft. That's going to happen from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. We've got Friday, May 2nd, which is the opening round, 12 p.m. shotgun for the first wave of golfers. Then 5 p.m. shotgun for the second wave, which is pretty sweet. You got 2 waves there. After party is going to be headlined by Bryce Vine. You know, she's the next Drew Barry. So we're going to be heading out there 8 p.m. to 11:30 for Bryce Vine. That's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Big deal and a big window. So come on out. And then Saturday, May 3rd is the final round. This starts at 10 a.m. goes till 9 p.m. Peacock is going to be featuring this final round starting at 6 p.m. Pacific time. After party headliner for Saturday is Quinn XC11 or 22. I don't know. Is it II too? II something. So I don't know who that is.
I don't know my Roman numerals either.
Yep. So I'm very excited about that as well. But that is your schedule of events for the Grass League this week. And again, like I said, it is taken over this Phoenix area. It is absolutely awesome. Now, let's get into the tee-off report with Butsy, the Grass League edition.
Oh, boy.
So, Butsy, you're going to be participating tomorrow. You are going to try to earn a spot on a team tomorrow. So we got to talk about pre-round routines. We were talking about it a little bit last week as to what is your go-to pre-round drink. But now I want to know what's your tournament pre-round routine. So what's your pre-round plan for the qualifier tomorrow?
I thought about this. Not really. I'm going to treat it like a normal weekend round of golf. I'm not going to do anything different. I'm not going to get too excited. I'm going to get here probably 4 to 6 hours early and start drinking. And hopefully by the time we get to the box, I'll be nice and lubricated and having a great time. So
love that.
That's the plan. Really.
Lubrication. What about a good, so I've always been somebody that, you know, people around me that know me well are like, yeah, man, he takes a couple dumps per day. So is there like a pre-round dump that takes
people
place?
Know that about you?
Oh yeah. People know. Yeah. It's well known.
No, I'll be fully cleansed by the time I get here. I don't want anything to disrupt the
They got some great bathrooms though.
They actually do. They're
We
very
do.
private, heavy doors. You don't get messed with. The acoustics in there, any type of fart noises that you produce are amplified, and it just makes it a little bit more fun. So very nice bathrooms.
Love that. Okay.
We
So
pride ourselves on that. So
hey, you got to have the venue ready
Yes.
for the pregame dump.
you want to talk about the venue? We got a guy sitting behind us right now. I don't even know the title anymore. Director of Agronomy, the head greenskeeper.
Yes.
Scotty. So if we want to talk greens and reeds and all that, he's
I'm going to tell you
ready
right
and waiting.
now,
The grass man.
I am absolutely miffed by how much traffic you guys get and how good the greens are here.
They really are.
So, an absolute magician. Shout out to you.
I wish I could
hiding
answer
back
that
there?
question, but
That's unreal.
yeah.
So, yeah.
And he's got his 2 dogs here too. So
I
they
saw
actually
them
might be
earlier.
the brains of the operation right here. Here's Trev right here.
Dude,
She was born in the maintenance shed, right? Yeah. Do
love
things a
that.
little
Born in the
different around
maintenance
here.
Dude, when we talk about the fact that grass clippings has a vibe, this is what we're talking about, folks. There is nothing like it that I have ever experienced in the game of golf throughout the country. It is an absolute vibe out here.
There's a draw.
Yeah.
For sure. Yep. There's nothing like it until you get here and do it. There are other lit courses, but this rivals all of them.
It definitely does. So, Todd, let's get into it, man. Let's talk a bit about where it all began for grass clippings. Where did this idea turn into where you went from a regular golf course here at Rolling Hills, and all of a sudden you guys came in and you're like, hey, let's light this place up and let's turn it into a par 3 course at night.
I mean, I wish it was that easy and just, hey, guys, roll out of bed. Let's go talk to the city of Tempe. It started well before that. In 2018, when we started Grass Clippings, there's 4 of us founders, Todd Dobson, Connor Riley, Jake Hazelton, Jimmy Hazelton. And Jimmy at the time was playing pro golf on mini tours around here. And they're just, something stuck out to us. This doesn't make sense. What we're just going to play on, at the time was the Pepsi tour. Then he's going to go fly to Canada, try to get there, try to fly to Latin America to try to get on a tour there. He's spending X and it's going to yield Y. And it's like, what are we doing? And there's no team aspect to it. You're by yourself flying around the country. I'm caddying for him. Connor's caddying for him, or his brother Jake's caddying for him. And I'm like, we're all just like, what? There's something structurally wrong with golf. If you actually break it down, it's like, I mean, growing up, I always played team sports and plus golf.
Sure.
But it's just, why did golf go this direction? And how couldn't they figure it out from that perspective of like, imagine if you two were flying down to Latin America to play in the Guadalajara Open or whatnot. And that's a little bit different. If you guys are doing a 2-man scramble, you guys are riding together. You know what I mean? Or if it's just Matt Cook going down there, he might take the next flight home because he's like, I'm a little scared about this tournament. There's just a different vibe about team golf. But that was really where it sparked. And, we'd stayed on the first tee box and look across at the guy playing with Jimmy, and the guy's wearing a Ping hat or a TaylorMade hat. And I'm telling you right now, I'm like, no one's paying you to wear that hat. No. Why are we wearing this hat? Like, nothing against those companies, but they make clubs. There's nothing cool or there's no story behind it. And back to the fact that it's such a singular sport. When you put a hat on, it should mean something and you're playing for something. And we always say play for the shop. That's our old shop down in Arcadia. Now it's this, but it was like, you have a place to go win a trophy and put it somewhere, opposed to just, over your mantle at home in your bed. And so we're thinking about this. We're like, there's something missing here. And
so hang on, let me interject for a second. Did you guys start with the concept that you wanted to create this team event and that led into grass clippings? Okay.
No.
So grass clippings came first.
It started, but it kind of started simultaneously. So, Jimmy and Jake had always hung around greenskeepers up in different courses that they were playing frequently. And, I'm forgetting his name up at Forest Highlands. And then myself, out in Minnesota growing up, I would hang around Alexandria Golf Club with Donica, and he's from Scotland. And, come full circle. Now we got Scotty. But like what you find out is when you hang out with greenskeepers is like, if they don't show up to work and they don't do a good job, we're not playing golf today. And you're not going to have a good time. And they're typically cast out like into the deep parts of the property. It's like, hey, don't even look at the patrons. Don't even talk to them. Don't even look at them. It's like, you're like, what? And we always found ourselves being like, no, if I'm going to get a beer, I want to get it with Scotty. I want to go out to the shed and get a beer with Scotty. It was like, they're like the salt of the earth, yet they are never put into the spotlight. And if they don't show up to work, nothing gets done. So we created Grass Clippings as a clothing brand to give recognition to guys like Scotty and greenskeepers around the world. But
no shit, that's where grass clippings came from.
Yeah, that's like the blade of grass getting cut.
It's funny because when I moved down to Arcadia and I saw the grass clippings location, the OG in the little strip mall across the street from like a very trendy restaurant. If you guys aren't used to or familiar with the Arcadia Phoenix area, you've got La Grande Orange, which is like a market, high-end market where they've got breakfast and all this great stuff. You got Postino's there. You got all these great little spots, right? And across the street, you've got this little strip mall, and sure enough, there was this grass clippings, and I'm like, "What the hell is this thing?" Yeah, and sure
you can
enough,
only imagine what people would come into the shop asking. You guys are, what are you guys selling here? You got weed whackers back there? Like, you got some marijuana? What do we got? They're like, actually, it's a clothing brand for greenskeepers. Like, okay.
I had no idea that grass clippings was a clothing brand, and that's how it got started.
And so, but we did that in tandem. So it was always driven from competition. And if you think about the landscape of like golf tournaments in Arizona, it's the Phoenix Open, and then nothing against any other tournament, but the type of tournament where it like moves somebody. And like going to play in certain events, you're like, okay, if I shoot 89, like, I don't really care. But if there's certain events, you're like, if I shoot in the 80s, like I might give up the game. Like my reputation's on the line. And, Jake and Jimmy and Connor had, different tournaments they played around here, shared the same belief. And Jimmy was trying to play pro at the time. We found ourselves up in Minnesota at the Resorters in Western Minnesota. And for the first time Jake and Jimmy came, and they were like, and Connor, and they're like, what is going on here? This feels like high school football in Texas. Like, I want to run through a wall. The town shuts down. It's 13,000 people. Tom Lehman was from there, won it when he was 16. We have him on, camera saying winning the Resorters it's actually 18. Winning the Resorters at 18 was as important to me as winning the British Open at 36.
There you go.
And you're like, that's pretty damn special. And so when you think about it, we're like, why is there such a void here in Arizona for tournaments like that, like inspire people that I want to be better because of that? And goes back to the qualifiers. You got to qualify into it.
Yeah.
And more years than not, I'd miss the qualifier, go home, cry in my bed as a grown man.
Yeah.
But it made me respect the tournament and love the tournament and want to get better.
And getting in is like, hell yes.
Yeah.
So when we launched the clothing brand, we're like, we got to do it simultaneously with a golf tournament. And we thought long and hard, how do we engage everybody that they feel like they can win? You're not getting screwed over on the first tee box by giving the guy 7 strokes. And you're like, okay, what? I could need a calculator to figure out who's winning.
Yeah.
2-man scramble on a par 3 course. Anybody can win that.
Everybody's
But you and I could beat John Rahm and Phil Mickelson tomorrow. And I believe we would.
any given Sunday.
I love that.
Yeah.
And regardless, it's like, just don't ask for strokes, show up, get better. And it's
Yeah.
like, and that's the whole philosophy behind it. So we did it on a par 3 course at Mountain Shadows, and year over year it got bigger and bigger. Fans started coming out. And when we first started the tournament, we're like, it's going to be on TV at some point. There's going to be grandstands and there's going to be lights. It might happen in 50 years or it might happen tomorrow. We don't know, but we're going to stay with that as our North Star.
Wow.
After 3 years, we realized that the Mountain Shadows wasn't going to be able to, host the events we wanted to do with looking for a property. And here we are at the 2025 grass clippings open on NBC Peacock. So
And
Unreal.
Something about it being under the lights too. Like it almost feels like you're at a baseball game. Well, the first time I played out here, that's kind of what it felt like. There's an ambiance to being under the lights, and yeah, it's sick.
but that to that point, like if you think about historically about sports, like when the Cubs finally made the transition to do lighted baseball for them, but like back in the 30s when the Reds finally turned the lights on, it saved the franchise.
Yeah.
They had 2,000 people showing up for every game. They turned the lights on,
Boom.
and they were about to go bankrupt, and it saved it. So there's something to like when the lights come on, the stage gets bigger. And if you think about like Staples Center or Crypto.com, like Showtime,
Exactly.
there's something about the lights coming on that just fires people up. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing, it fires me up. So, Elon Musk has a problem here.
Okay.
There we go.
okay.
Elon
Okay.
Matt.
Elon Matt.
We're good. We're good. We're good. Oh man. Now, one of the things that I just absolutely have been blown away by, because I haven't really seen anything like this, especially in this area, is just how did you build a community so quickly around what you were doing here? It seemed like there was a vibe here and a culture really from day one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question. I'd say it's like, it started at our shop and everything, and there was just a way we do things. And, Jake's our CEO, and he deserves a lot of props. There's certain decisions he made. And in the moment you're like, why are we doing this? And then like a year goes by, you're like, oh, okay, there we go. But if you come down here and you meet the employees that work here, like I consider all these people family. And it's like, dude, we don't have to act like other golf courses or other things. We can just be ourselves. We're here to make your lives better, like empower you. Thank you for working here. Let's do this together. Let's have a great time doing it. We don't have to be uptight and this and that, but if you show up, you do what you're supposed to do. Like this could be awesome. And just that mentality, stay grassy. If you can make it, we'd love to have you.
Well, that was the motto, right? That was was that an unofficial motto, or was that like the official motto?
Well, so at our first tournament, someone kept yelling across the course, was like, stay grassy, or like, and it happened like organically where like Jake was like, dude, I've heard stay grassy like 17 times and I'm kind of liking it. And those are the type of things that stick around, is when they happen organically. So we ran with it. And
I see it all over the place.
yeah,
I'd be in a grocery store and all of a sudden I see a dude with a Stay Grassy hat on. It's pretty cool.
It's a vibe.
It is.
It's a vibe.
It is
You wanna be a part of
100% a vibe.
Yeah.
it's a movement.
Mhm.
It really, yeah.
Hmm.
I like the way you said that. It's a movement, because you guys are doing some other events and stuff now too, which is really cool to see that it's not just all about golf now. It literally, you do a farmer's market, you do yoga class, like the yoga classes. There were like 100+ women out there doing yoga
Yeah.
in the grass.
There's a yoga class.
Yeah.
That's another one of our sayings, is that anywhere there's grass. And so if you think about like metropolis like Phoenix, it's really tough to find grass.
Yeah.
And I got 3 kids, and if my wife and I try to go out with our kids to go to dinner, 5 minutes into it, you're looking around, you're like, dude, this guy's gonna throw his fork at me or stab me or something like this. I get it. I have to live with this stuff. Are you kidding me? And it's like the kids just want to be outside around grass, and so do I. And so like that's why Luz does so well. Like But when you think about it, like most parks around here, it's like, okay, this is kind of dicey.
You don't want to go there.
So you just anywhere there's grass. So a little plot of grass, and then they're doing yoga classes. We're doing, Brody Jenner's playing here in 2 weeks. I'm like, what the heck's he doing here for some event? Like, you just put a little grass out there, anything can happen.
Man, how about it? I mean,
there's lore and legend, and it's already got that. It really does.
It does.
I love those words.
It does. It's crazy.
I mean, shoot, I haven't been to the farmer's market yet, but I'm always down for a good farmer's market. So
I feel like I'm walking into a party every time I walk up the steps here. And whether or not that was the intention, but it's got that, like, let's go.
Yeah, we've been out here for the Wednesday night skins games, and it's just like you come and it is a vibe. You got all the golfers around the bar out there. Now you guys have Santa Rosa out there. You got the restaurant now.
Yeah. Glen Rosa.
Santa
Rosa. I like that name, but Glen Rosa. And that is part of the whole story too, is that we were all, I mean, we still live on the same street now, but we were all living in Jimmy's house on Glen Rosa.
Mm-hmm.
And the four of us peeled out of the house to get married and have kids and all that stuff. And Connor was the first one to leave. He literally walked across the street and bought the house. So it's like, okay, he's not going far. And I was like, all right, I'm the next one to go. So I went a street over behind Jimmy's house and bought the house. And then Jake was the last one to leave, and he went a street the other way. So it's like, I think I'm a pitching wedge, probably a flighted 50 to Jake's house. I'm probably
test that.
A 54. I know.
Yeah.
It could cause some problems. There's a lot of kids in the area, but I think we should.
Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness. Well, now you start to understand why there is that vibe, that culture, because you guys are so close. And the four of you starting this, living all throughout the same block, got Glen Rosa. You're bringing the name in. Now it's, oh, Jesus. Now it's the bar.
Yep.
And what's the restaurant called? Is that Glen Rosa?
It's Glen Rosa Bar and Glen Rosa Restaurant. Yeah.
See,
home is where the heart is.
Love that. So let's move into from there. You guys also did a little bit with Good, which kind of from a YouTube creator standpoint kind of put you guys on the map in 2024. Yeah. How did that relationship come about?
Actually, Chris Strauss from Troon called us. It was like, hey, I'd love you guys to meet the CEO of Good, Matt Kendrick, and he's going to be on property. It was actually the night we were turning the lights on.
Okay.
And so we got all these news people here, and Matt's out there, and I didn't know much about all that. None of us really did, and met Matt, love the guy. We were very close with him now, and and just he started talking. He's like, during Phoenix Open, we'd love to do an event here.
Yeah.
And if you know any of us, when someone says I want to do something, would that be cool? 99.9% of the time, we're going to say, let's go. How do we make it even bigger and better?
Yeah.
What do you need from us? Like, that's all we're about, is growing the game per se. But so we had that initial conversation, which was like 2 months prior to the Phoenix Open.
Okay.
He was in town, and you could see his mind just going. He's like, let me get back to you. And by the time, a week went by, he's like, okay, I got Golf Channel. or NBC Peacock at the time. He's like, I got NBC Peacock that's coming. We got all, there was like 60 players. I played with Dave Roberts. Jimmy played with Ryan Sheckler. I'm like, well, that escalated really quickly.
Wow.
And that's just, again, a testament to Good's power and what they've built is mind-boggling. It's wild. But they've obviously now bought in the Dallas Horsemen team in our league. They're taking it seriously. And when you think about a team owner, they're the, that's typically what we're looking for. People that have the resources and love the game, or in the game, and want to win. It's all about competition.
And you're wearing a hat right now. Which hat is that? Which team?
I forgot. The Michigan Auto Aces. I forgot this was on my desk. So
good looking hat.
Yeah, it is a good looking hat.
You know what I find interesting is he's wearing a Phoenix United hat, and he doesn't control his destiny right now.
Yeah.
He could get through the qualifier, and he could be wearing a Bluebirds hat.
I just like the logo.
I like you at number 2, first round number 2. That's my prediction.
Yeah, wouldn't that be a twist?
Yep.
So let's talk about franchise ownership. This is something Live Golf hasn't even been able to do yet with getting owners of actual teams. What was so attractive, in your opinion, to the owners?
I mean, at the time, like the last 5 years, sports investment has been like going through like a renaissance. Everybody wants to buy an NBA team, an NFL team, and then the upstart leagues.
They just don't want to buy a live golf team.
Well, who knows if they're for sale, but they've, Big Three and, like all these upstart leagues, volleyball leagues and everything. And they're doing real pickleball leagues. And when you start looking at all these upstart leagues and then you say, wait, you're going to make a league in arguably the most participated sport.
Yeah.
That's like just everywhere. It's
Yeah.
golf. Okay. Is it a good concept? It's like, you hear our pitch, you're like, well, okay, well, how much? It's like, so I think there's a lot of things that intrigue. It was the lights. It was a par 3. The ability to track.
I got to
media.
back up to the good thing a little bit because I don't know what the team, like how many teams were purchased or what the franchise situation was like before that. But for me personally, when I saw that go off and there was a TV tower out here and everybody was just like, what the fuck? What is that? Like, what is that? Oh my God. So did that help a little bit?
We had already sold teams prior to that, but it certainly didn't hurt.
Didn't hurt. Yeah.
I remember like the full circle moment for me for sure, and my other partners is I have a picture on my Instagram. It's like the 18th hole with a TV tower and a light.
That's what I'm saying.
And then there's like some chairs. And so again, it went back to it's going to be under the lights. There's going to be grandstands, and it's going to be on TV. And so it was like, whoa,
yeah.
And that was like kind of the pinch me moment where like. It's such a very simple picture, but it's like, okay, if you build it, they will come. There's bigger things to come than this. And so now we have, a small stadium on 18. So
it's pretty cool. I mean, when I showed up tonight, I just stood out there for a good 10 minutes, just kind of staring around, feeling kind of the vibe of everything. I'm like, wow, this feels big. Like this does not feel like some small tournament that got put together. This feels like you're at a PGA Tour event.
I was just going to say, driving down the street, like right down there, you can see all the tents when you're driving up and you're pulling up to a tour event. It's like, or that vibe.
That's, I mean, we're all about competition. And if you put, I always say if one guy watches you on the tee box, you're on the first tee box and then one guy walks up, you're like, okay, why is this guy watching me? Okay, I'm a little nervous. Then 3 guys walk, you're like, oh my gosh. Then you put a crowd. That's what we're all looking for. We're all, if you agree with me or not, you're looking to get your blood pumping. And so we want to do everything we can to amplify competition and just get the blood pumping. Cause that's, at the end of the day, what else are we doing?
Yeah, it's a really good point. And those franchises, by the way, they've got some big names associated with them. So some notables. Dave Roberts, manager of the LA Dodgers.
Yep.
You got good, obviously. I don't need to go into that whole group. You've got Wyndham Clark.
Yep.
Now, is that with Municipal or is that just Wyndham at this point?
It's with Municipal.
Okay.
And so we're hoping Mark Wahlberg, it comes out here at some point. He's a huge golfer, but Wyndham is into his team, which is again makes him a great owner, and he sees the vision. It's like, we're not out here recruiting Rory McIlroy. Like, we're not trying to compete with the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
We're looking for stories.
Yeah.
We're looking for great golf, guys that maybe didn't get on to the Corn Ferry or Canadian or even the PGA Tour that still love the golf and want a place to play. And typically at the end of the day, those types of people have better stories than maybe Rory McIlroy. Nothing against him, but if you put all those things together with the par 3 light stadiums, TV, and some really gritty stories, you're like, okay, I'm gonna hang around and watch this.
Scramble golf, the journeyman, any 2 people, regardless of age, they're playing par 3s.
And
you
to
come out and get it done.
To that point too, is like the things that you remember about Tiger Woods was the fist pumps and the emotion going on. Yeah. Sometimes when you play alone and you make a big
putt, do I talk about that on this podcast? All the time.
Yeah.
I mean, that is what's missing in golf. And what's cool is like our podcast cover for tonight is when one of the guys, I don't even know who it was because I didn't have the name on the photo, but he had just made a putt and the crowd went absolutely berserk. He's got his arms up in the air. The caddies are going nuts. Like that's the vibe that is missing in this day and age of golf. And you guys have been able to accomplish that.
And it's so funny because there was a team that did a qualifier. It was all like singles and they played by themselves. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, the guy just made a birdie and no one's like, he's afraid of fist bump. I'm like, whoa. Then it kind of hit me even harder where I was like, okay, that was a massive putt if he actually wants to play on this team. And I know he does because I talked to him before. when you play alone, there's this weird dynamic. But like if Butsy and I are playing, not to overlook you, if you and I were playing, sorry, I keep overlooking you, man. But like if we got a birdie putt coming down the stretch and we make it, I mean, I'm probably tackling Butsy if I could get him on the ground. But
you might break his back.
Yeah, I don't know. But like that's what everything's missing is like sharing that experience with someone else and being like, okay, you lipped out, I'll get you here, and then you make it. That's where you get the excitement.
Yeah.
So it all like there's a lot of ingredients to this that we think is a solid foundation.
The dugout vibe.
Yeah,
for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
Let me run down real quick these teams because we've got countries that are covered, we've got cities, and we got states. Okay, so we've got the Canada Hat Tricks. They're owned by Social Leverage. The Dallas Horsemen, which is the Good Golf ownership group. You've got Hollywood Hitters, which is owned by Commonwealth. That's a sports funding group. You got the Los Angeles Roses. That's MLB manager Dave Roberts.
Let me cut you off on the Hollywood Hitters. The actual ownership group, because it gets kind of confused, is Brian Doxeter, Marty Fish, and John Mallinger.
Oh, okay.
So it's actually
and if you know sports, Marty Fish.
Yeah, and John Mallinger's playing in this event with Peter Tomasulo.
Oh,
yeah. Who's a 3-time Corn Ferry winner.
Yeah.
You know?
How about it?
Let's tell that story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Shoot, where was I?
Sorry, Hollywood Hitters.
That was great. Los Angeles Roses, you got owned by MLB manager Dave Roberts. You got the Michigan Auto Aces. That's that team right there.
Here, yep.
And they are owned by the eBird Capital Group. You've got Minnesota Muskies, which I know hits home for you, being a Minnesota guy, owned by the Aspen Technologies. You got the New York Bluebirds, which hits home for me, owned by the Lazaro Enterprises. We've got hometown Phoenix United, owned by Manor Phoenix. You've got San Diego Munis, which is Wyndham Clark's team. The Scottsdale Strikers, also local squad by Riot Hospitality Group. And you got the Tampa Bay Swamp Dogs, affiliated with Silverleaf Golf Club, the owner there. So, yeah,
and
pretty wild.
I mean, if you're starting a new league, like you could easily go out now, ask all the guys that own sports teams to buy a team and be like, oh, let's just do that. That's not fun. That's not interesting.
No.
Like, let's get an eclectic group of people and put them into a pool and see what happens, see what comes out of this. And that's what you have on that list. It's like, oh, we could have sold one to Elon and him and them. It's like, that's no fun. We want gritty owners that care about their team, care about the game. Who cares? I don't care what the name is. As long as they care about the game, care about the players that they're putting on their team. That's what golf's missing. And the ability to tell stories about that.
You just reminded me of why Wrexham has been such a big success with Ryan Reynolds and Ryan McElhaney. And Wrexham being the soccer team. And I was just reading a whole article about this, that's the reason they're so successful, is because they care and love the whole entire thing. And they've used it as a platform as well. Getting I forget if it's on Netflix or whatever, but they've got the documentary series and everything on it. And now it is valuated. I think they bought it for 2.5 million. And now it's worth it's a valuation of $100 million.
Oh, and they don't care. That's the thing. It's not about the money.
No. And they love it. And that was the whole thing. It's like they put a heartbeat into that team. And that's what you're talking about with this ownership of these franchises. You want people that actually care, that love this game, that love their team, their franchise, and really are putting back into that. So that's pretty sweet to hear that, because that's only going to lead to success, in my opinion. Butsy?
No, I agree.
Butsy, who's your favorite team out of the 11?
Put him on the spot here.
We got to go with Phoenix United. For sure.
He's rocking the hat.
No, it's not a question.
The owner's just sitting right there through the window looking at him.
You better say Phoenix United.
Definitely Phoenix United.
Yeah, Phoenix United. So as we talk a little bit about Phoenix United and the Grass League, 2024, the Grass League Open was a pretty big deal. You guys had a big turnout, good success on the first year.
Yeah, it was. It's been a journey. I'll say that much. We've seen everything around here. We took over the property. We're putting up lights, under construction. Oh, hey, why don't we get a tournament on TV while we're under construction with cranes going by and all this stuff? So, and
it's just cool.
You just got to do it, and stand behind it. So
that's really cool. And as we talk about the 2024 Grass League Open, as you're talking about cranes going by and everything, there's always a startup story.
Yeah.
Right. And I overheard you talking a couple weeks ago about this story of electricity and how, the first Grass League Open almost didn't happen. Tell us about this.
Yeah. And I guess that's probably why there's not that many lighted golf courses in America or the world. When we took over the property, we wanted to get the lights up as quickly as possible. And again, you might know more about this stuff because you're in technology and energy and all that stuff.
You would know.
We were not connected to the grid yet, and they were going to build the and Connor's right there. He's the one that knows it all. The SRS panel or something, all the fancy guys would know that. It was going to be like 6 months. So we went and got generators to run all this off of like massive generators.
God.
What an undertaking.
And
Now, it was plumbed for lights like from like the 70s, right? On some level, or no?
I mean, they were hanging bistro lights in the 70s or the third. No, it's actually this like middle 62. We have that newspaper in there.
There goes that theory.
But like, talk about a story.
Yeah.
64 years ago, they were trying to put lights up.
Yeah.
And then in 2024, they go on with Musco lighting. And
Isn't that crazy?
It's awesome.
and we really didn't know that they tried to light it until like we had got the lease and we're like, this is kind of spooky. What the heck? Like, who are these guys? And there's like pictures of guys on ladders going up palm trees and like hanging lights. I'm like, this is so grassy to us. That's the adjective we like to use is grassy. But so to that point, we were lighting the golf course with generators. And so leading up to the Grass Clippings Open, we had about 4 or 5 months. I remember the good event. I was like, holy smokes, this is gonna be such an amazing event. And then I'm just sitting out in the parking lot looking at that generator. I'm like, wouldn't that be
that
something?
goes out?
The place just goes and they're like, we're live here at Grass Clippings on you're like, oh goodness. So we got through that. You lay in bed after the good event, you're like, okay, that was amazing and great, huge success. So we do the Grass Clippings Open and haven't had any problems with generators or anything like that. It's Friday, and then Saturday we're going live on the broadcast, and I'm in here back here. We're still under construction. There's crazy stuff going on. I'm talking to the director with who's running the HBO and TBS and Bleacher Report, that whole crew. And we're like, okay, we're going to go live in 30 minutes. He's like, Pete or Todd, you got to get over there in 10 minutes at least, or 15 minutes. And Connor walks in. Then he's talking to somebody else. He's like, hey, the lights won't work. They're not turning on. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm just going to act like I didn't hear that. And I'm like, oh gosh. And so I literally leave the room and I walk down there to the broadcast booth and I'm like, they're not on. Okay, keep it cool. I'm like, hey guys, we're a great show. And I'm like, dude, God, something with God is these things are going to work. And I turned my phone off on do not disturb. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, okay. Doosh.
They go on.
They go on. And I'm like, we are so back, baby.
Oh my God.
And that's
within how many minutes would you say?
There was still light out.
Yeah. So you couldn't really tell.
We wouldn't have known until we were like a little ways into the broadcast. So I'm just sitting there. I'm like, the lights, they're trying to put them on. Okay. And so again, Scott Hebert is director of agronomy, but that doesn't do it justice. He's back there,
He's a man of
wearing
many
a lot of
talents.
The guy's brilliant. Okay. He knows more about grass than anybody. And he knows how to run a generator the size of a city block. And I'm like, Scotty, why are you the one doing this? He's like, because I'm the only one who knows, like, even the guys that dropped it off. He's like, I know it better than them. And he's in there just, it makes it work.
Doing stuff.
So Trout wants to know, what would have happened? Rain checks?
I don't have an answer for you. That would have been so.
That would have been wild.
Yeah. I mean, imagine that headline. The lighted par 3 league goes dark.
Karma was on your side, though. They popped on like some divine reason at the right time, because everything goes wrong if that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Right? Like it happened.
We might not be sitting here today.
That's very possible.
If that happened.
I mean, you could imagine where my head was going.
Oh
yeah.
Trying not to, but
now Scotty can, and anybody working the shop can just turn on the lights on their phone. It's like the light app on your phone literally just turns the
high tech.
It's pretty crazy. So those days are behind us. But again, when you talk about like startup leagues, you talk about anything in general. I don't care if it's a sport, a relationship, or anything. you need those like gritty foundational moments where you look back and be like, oh my gosh, we could have got toasted there. Without that, like people don't want a perfect, polished, finished product day one.
I always say this about podcasts. People love stories about the journey.
Yeah.
And they don't want all the good, right? You got to have some bad in there in order to have that hero moment.
Yeah.
I keep knocking your damn microphone. I apologize.
Right there to that point. I mean, we're just microphones are falling over, but that's what makes this podcast worth watching, you know? And stuff. It's like to the point here. It's like, we're not trying to be perfect. I don't like perfect. Nobody really does like perfect.
Exactly.
People like, you know, I a little worn in, you know, seen a thing or two. And that's what you can say around here. I'll tell you that much.
That is awesome. All right, let's get into the tagline because I gave you a hard time about this in the very beginning.
Oh, here we go.
Right. So we're on a podcast and all of a sudden this Todd Dobson starts coming into the comments. And I remember going, this backfired on me horribly because it actually was a really good point that Todd made. But I'm sitting there going, what's so high stakes about this grass league? Like, why is that even a tagline? Like, I didn't get it at first. So I'm very curious. Where did the tagline high stakes come from?
Well, I mean, high stakes is, so there was something going on in golf at the time. Everyone was, you know, the marketing for golf tournaments was like, oh my gosh, and all they're going to be show up and they're going to be playing for $20 million. Like the average fan is like, okay, let's divide 20 million by this, by that. Like, how much I don't give a shit.
100%.
And the perfect point to that is Rory McIlroy wins the Masters, and you see his reaction. He wins the Tour Championship, wins $18 million, and he's like, hey, thanks. Yeah, I'm on the next flight out of here.
It's not resonating with anybody.
So when you look at the whole golf spectrum and you break it down to its foundation, people, it's not about the money.
Yeah.
It's not about the money. So
you're spot on.
So when we say high stakes, it might be money for some people. Like, don't get me wrong, guys playing on the Canadian Tour, playing Corn Ferry, everything, every check matters. So that's high stakes.
Yeah.
But other instances, it's like reputation. And that's a real thing in golf is like, some guys are like, oh, I'm so good. It's like, oh, you want to play tomorrow? We'll play for this. They're like, oh, my back's aching. It's like, I have this persona and I can't, if I lose the butsy, like there goes my whole identity.
Yeah.
So there's high stakes. And the perfect example is, you know, back in January, the Live Tour team, the Ironheads were in town and they're getting ready for their lighted golf match.
Yeah.
In Riyadh. And somehow Jake got connected with the agent for the team. And they were like, we want to play the Muskies. And I'm like, what? I was like, what's going on here? What am I missing? And he's like, no, they want to play the Muskies. I was like, for like money or for what? Like, what are we doing? He's like, 3v3 scramble under the lights here. And they ended up playing for like 30 grand a piece each side. But it's like, still, if you know the players, like that didn't mean anything to any of them.
Yeah.
And like halfway through it, I was like, you know what? You know, love or hate the Live guys, you love or hate Kevin Na, I ride with Kevin Na. There's no reason he should be playing in this match. Like if he loses this match, it is the end of the world.
Yeah.
And if the Muskies lose, it's like, oh yeah, they should have lost. And he's willing to come out here, play for some odd amount of money, doesn't matter to anybody. And he's willing to put his reputation and his team on the line. I was like, that's pretty high stakes. So when you talk about high stakes, is we're all about putting like leveraging golfers in high leverage friction environments and letting it play out. If that's money, if a guy wants to come play for $1 million against another guy, be my guest.
You said it earlier, like taking, I mean, the otherwise average Joe, which is a great part of the field, right? And they get to one and the blood starts pumping. Like that's high stakes. Like now you're in the arena, like you're in the amphitheater and you feel that. That's high stakes. That's what you're saying. Like, I might shank the ball in front of 30 people, in front of 3,000 people.
Yeah. I don't care about the money. Like, I don't want to be embarrassed like that.
Right.
So our whole thing is like, why talk about the money? At the end of the day, that's the livelihood. It's like, okay, I win the Valero Texas Open or something. It's like, okay, great. Like, good. You got some good money, but it's epic that you won that tournament. Let's talk about that. That when you start bringing the money into these tournaments, I think it has the opposite effect. It turns people off.
Well, and of course, your first two tournaments end in a sudden death playoff. I mean, does it get any better than that? Talk about high stakes.
We're batting 1,000 right now. We were like, our thesis on this was like, if you do this and you play under the lights, 2-man scramble, typically the leaderboard will go like this and you should have a crazy ending. the first tournament, we're on the broadcast, and I'm like, we're supposed to be done like 30 minutes ago. And we could go for another 2 hours. Like these guys could
keep the fryers on.
And thank goodness, there was 3 Muskies in the event, in the playoff, and 1 Phoenix United team. And somehow it came down to the last putt of that. 8 guys playing, and it came down to Drew Kittleson with a 12-footer. It was, I mean, when you talk about like this things happening, you don't know why they happen, divine intervention or whatnot. I'm sitting there, I'm like, are we watching Drew Kittleson right now about to win the tournament and the last putt to end it all? Like, how did we get here? And then, fast forward a couple months, and now we're back in December, and we got Billy Haynes making a 50-footer. I'm like, oh my Lord. And so I think it's a testament to the format that anybody can win. And it's like, I don't care what you start the day at. Kittleson and Drew Stoltz started the GL championship at like 4 under, which was, I want to say, like 8 strokes back or something.
Not even close.
I was like, they're out of it. And by the time the broadcast came on, they were at the last 2 holes. They were the leaders in the clubhouse at 14 or 15 under. They shot 12 under.
Wow.
And I'm like,
grind him back.
And I'm like, now they're relevant. Obviously, they ended up losing, but it's just a testament to like, just stay in it, batten down the hatches. You might end up with a trophy at the end of the day.
What did Bill Murray call it? Cinderella story.
Cinderella story. And we got that going for us, which is nice.
Liv has no storyline. Okay.
So you're reading some of the comments now. Anti-Liv is ongoing. He loves Liv, as you can tell, with the name of his Twitter account. Big lover of the of the group. But as we're talking about 2025 Grass League Open, Matt Gannon here from Vincerax, he says Alex Zerant, Grass League. Remember the name.
He's in the qualifier, right?
Wow, I guess so.
He's in the same pool as Butsy.
I remember the name.
I know all the names. I've done some research on some.
It's like a Linkin Park song.
Yeah,
remember the name.
Fort Minor.
Or Fort Minor. Yeah. There it is. Yeah,
close.
Sorry.
It's one of my favorites. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, Fort Minor, wasn't he the guy from
Mike
Linkin Park?
Shinoda.
Yeah, there we go.
Impressive.
Yeah. Perfect. As we talk about this now, we got to get into some seriousness, because the one thing that I am constantly asked, and I don't know if I really have a great answer for it, is what is the purpose of the qualifier if, for instance, like the winning team isn't guaranteed to get drafted, right?
I mean, we could easily cut it off at 22 teams and just say, okay, there you go. But, life's all about, the unknown. And we're going to let 25 in there. And so you might not deserve to be there.
Yeah.
And you might have a chance, but you not even have a chance to interact and connect with an owner. Again, this is like when we talk about team golf, like people will compare us to whatever they want to. It doesn't compare. Okay. You get Arthur Blank owning a TGL team. I have nothing against the TGL. There's something inorganic about Billy Horschel and Arthur Smith's.
Yes.
Like, okay, what are we doing here? Like, Billy Horschel doesn't need an attaboy from Arthur Smith. Okay. He's got plenty of accolades. Okay. The owners and the players have a deep relationship right now. For instance, the Phoenix United team, why they're all over Butsy, and they're giving them gear and all that stuff. That's what's missing is in golf. And, it goes back to the resorters, for me at least, back to the resorters when Jimmy came up for the first time as an amateur. And my dad is a very reserved guy. Doesn't, not very many highs. Like, he's just the nicest, stable, solid dude in the world. And I was like, Dad, if Jimmy gets through the qualifier, he'll probably just sneak through. He's one of the better players in here. I think you got to buy him. And he thought about it long and hard. And my dad's never really had a seat at the golf table. Like if he pulls up and there's a bunch of scratch golfers playing, they're like, hey, go to the next table. Like, we don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
He pulls me aside as we're about to go to the Calcutta. He's like, Todd, I'm going to spend whatever it takes. Don't tell your mom. I'm coming home with Jimmy. $9,000 later, I'm like, oh, let's ride. Jimmy's got a tee time the next day against a guy that's playing in the field that was Mr. Minnesota.
Yeah.
And Jimmy's, I think, like the 28th seed. No one's ever heard of him. He's from Phoenix. We're in Western Minnesota. Like, who is this guy? And my dad is like his security guard, is like Snoop Dogg. He's like, he is just, I've never seen him so happy. And the connection between Jimmy and my dad, I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, what is going on? And Jimmy's like, I don't want to let your dad down. He spent $9 grand on me.
Yeah.
And my dad's like, this is everything. He's like, hey, round of beers. My horse is on the tee. And I'm like, there's something here. Let's step back and look at that. And so that's the type of mentality we're trying to implement into the teams where it's like, there's this relationship between owners and players to where we want the best for you.
So question. Could we end up in a Shedeur Sanders type of moment where somebody who finishes very highly tomorrow falls way down because maybe they don't have that relationship with the teams?
They just don't like them, you know, and
they all got their own unique fingerprint of how they operate, right? Like,
and so style. This might be the, you know, not to say the player's not at fault or anything, but you know, this might be the balancing act of golf where it's like, you know, maybe as Colin Cowherd says, it doesn't hurt to embody humility. So
Butsy's time tomorrow is 4:34 on the dot. Make sure you're out here, Trot. And then also from Trot Golfer, what's winning team win tomorrow? Is there anything that they get? That's a good question.
Let me check. Hold on one sec. Do we still have those gift cards?
There is now.
$25.
There is now.
$25 gift card.
$25 gift card. Love that. Love that for the winning.
What I would ask you is, you know, when Shedeur Sanders got signed, what did he get? It comes with a contract, you know, like in money and all that stuff. We're in year. We're really in year one, okay? And so that owner might be like, okay, I'm going to lock you up forever. Like the fact that you're in the qualifier, sign you a 10-year deal. Here's the money. You can do whatever you want. There's Jimmy, by the way, just walking by.
Jimmy. What up, man? What's up?
Big week, Jimmy. Big week. We've been hearing a lot about you.
That's rock, dude.
He's gonna come back. We're gonna get him on here. I'm gonna step out, but at the same time, it's like you get an opportunity to play. I know that might sound cheesy and all that stuff, but we have high hopes for this. This league will be around 100 years from now, and I say that with confidence because we're sticking to a game plan. And let's go, but over time it'll change. But my question to what is it, Trot? Like if you go play in a Monday Q, what do you get? And you win the Monday Q.
It's a good point.
This isn't a foreign concept, Trot. Like, you got any other brain busters here?
You get pride.
Putting Todd on the spot. Alex Surratt says 10 under tomorrow. Love that.
That's kind of what I thought.
Is the winning number?
Yeah, 10 to 12.
I love that Matt Gannon threw Alex Surratt's name in here, and then Alex Surratt jumps on and says what he's going to shoot tomorrow. That's pretty good.
I take that back, though. 10 to 12, but like if the wind blows out here, you look at it on paper and it's like, oh, it's like a 95-yard hole. Yeah, but if you're like 5 feet past the middle of the green, it's out of bounds long. And if the wind's blowing, like this place gets real nasty. I
will say this. I was out here for one of the Wednesday Skins games with Mike Lenny, who's on Phoenix United. And he's been playing incredible golf lately. And I'm playing with him, and the wind was whipping out here, and it ended up being one of those nights that was like 40 degrees.
Yeah.
And we were out here.
Yep.
And it was shivering. And man, it is tough out here when that wind gets going. And some of these greens, what people won't realize on TV or even coming out here and watching is just how hard it is to stick some of these shots on these greens because you got to have really good spin control. That was one of the things that I've noticed out here. And when you start shaving down these greens,
which Scotty's doing, it's going to be firm and fast tomorrow. And he was just telling me what he's going to do to the greens tomorrow. It's going to be diabolical. But I think it was pretty interesting when Kevin Na came out here for his practice round before the match. Yeah. And I just remember walking up to the fourth tee box, which plays at a different hole.
Yeah.
It's flipped for tomorrow in the tournament. But like he was getting frustrated and talking to his team and all this stuff. And they're like, you got to hit a knuckler. You can't spin it.
No.
Because they kept ripping it off. And then over time, he started hitting the right shot. But it's like, if you don't know the course and if you can't hit every shot, you're going to struggle in certain instances. Yeah. So
definitely something I've noticed that the more I play out here, I'm like, I'm starting to get the feel for it a little bit. This is a course that having some local knowledge is a big help.
Every hole's volcanic. Everything sits up. Everything's crowned. And if you miss by more than 5 yards, like you're not going to have a great time chipping from where you end up.
But to your point about local knowledge, it's the coolest part. One of the coolest parts of the tournament is like the bag boys out here. the grounds crew, they'll get hit up. Like I was walking out earlier and Brock was like, "Hey, do you know who Vince India is?" I was like, "Well, I do now. Like he's playing in the tournament. He's the guy's a stud." He's like, "Oh, I'm on his bag this week." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, he found out that I work here and there's some kind of like connection between they're from." He's like, I'm caddying for him. I'm like, "Damn, like that's grassy."
Yeah.
Like Vince India he's a hell of a golfer. He was the male athlete of the year in Iowa in like 2011 or something.
Shit.
And he's from there. And I'm like, let's go. And then you get guys randomly, you'll have, guys on the grounds crew just on a bag. You're like, okay, these guys are smart, so.
Question for Butsy here by Kyle over at Cart Barn Guys. He says, is Butsy going to bring the buzz tomorrow?
Yeah, we already talked about this. He's talking about the pregame. Yeah, one of the things
he's definitely gonna.
It would fail me when I was younger. Is I would. Oh, I'm playing in a tournament now. Everything's got to change. I got to button down the hatches and get serious. And it's like that's not how I play my best golf. So, like I said, I'm gonna treat it like any other weekend day.
Got to get into the flow state, right? Got to
have a good time. Yeah,
get comfortable out there.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the biggest thing to do in a tournament is get as comfortable as possible, as quickly as possible, and that way you can play to your level that you know how to play.
It's a fine line. You got to be very careful going down that road. But
we'll have the Bev cart just trailing your group the whole day.
I was going to ask.
I mean, she's going to make a lot of money tomorrow.
Yeah, I need to bring like a rolling cooler, or is she going to be around?
She'll be just tailing you guys the entire time. We'll make more money on Butsy than the whole field. Okay?
Probably true. I mean, I have been out there with the man, and he can pack them away like no other. I mean, but it is amazing. I will say this, and I was talking with actually Butsy and I were both there. We were talking, and who the hell was it that we were talking with to where they're like Butsy in the drunken flow state can take on just about anybody. Who was it that was it Brant after the podcast?
I think a lot of people have said that. It's not a point of pride,
a lot
but it is a fact. That's a fact. I'm not proud of it, but it is what it is. It took a lot of discovery to figure that out. So,
but let's get back to players. Obviously, in this year's event, who are some players that you're looking out for? And actually, hang on. Let me take a step back because it was pretty cool where, stories just tend to find me.
Yep.
And we're walking out to go see if the 18th is going to be feasible tonight because wind was blowing like crazy. We had a really cool backdrop and everything. And sure enough, it didn't work out. The Wi-Fi wasn't good enough. Like there's all these reasons why we're not out there right now. However, we ran into Lucky's dad and so this kid Lucky with the fro.
Yeah.
The
qualifier. Yeah.
Dude looks so dope. Like he's got a vibe all himself. Yeah. And I'm hearing these stories from his dad about how they're traveling over to South Africa and they're doing this and that. And they're going down to Mexico and playing in all these events and everything. I mean, talk to me a little bit about even that story right there.
Well, it's crazy. I mean, he reached out to me on Instagram and the Grass League account and all that stuff and was fired up. He's like, the instant he read about it or however he came across it, he was all in on it. And we're like, dude, please play. Like, as we say, if you can make it, we'd love to have you. So he made it a point to come out here and his dad said that the kid's unbelievable his golf swing. And, and again, it's tough to find a footing on a pro golf tour. So he's kind of in that space where he's good enough. He's just got to have the right week to catch on and go. Yeah. So again, that's where the Grass League is it's really designed to be. It's like we're not trying to be, PGA Tour Canada. We're not trying to be the PGA Tour. We're trying to be the Grass League. Yeah. And what that is a platform for golfers to play and hopefully make NIL money, sponsorship dollars, win a purse as the purses get bigger. Yeah. And it's like, let's say Lucky plays this week and then, in our summer grind event, he can't make it because he Mondayed into a PGA Tour event. Most tours might say, oh, what is he doing playing in the PGA Tour? Like our philosophy is like, let's go.
Yeah,
like go get it. Yeah. This was the point is let us springboard, give you like a bounce into wherever you want to be. And we'll be fully supportive of you.
That's really cool. And I also like the dynamic to where he's a young dude and then he's teamed up in the qualifier with Tony Finau's brother.
Gipper. When the name came through, sick. Gipper Finau. I was like, wait, is that the same Finau?
And then you meet him and you look at him and when he's talking, he looks just like Tony.
Oh yeah. I remember following those two's career before either of them got big. And they're known.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, he's in the qualifier.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's in the qualifier.
They're in the
Like,
qualifier.
It's crazy.
We're not even talking about the teams that the
No,
players that are already
the teams that
rostered.
are already set. Yeah,
I think tomorrow might be the. I'm actually I hate to say this, but most excited about tomorrow because it's like everything's on the line. You got people flying out. If they miss the cut, they're gone. And they might stick around, but like there's to Trott's point, there's life is tough sometimes. Trot
does want to know, is the draft live? It is, right?
it's going to be on YouTube. Yeah,
It's going to be on YouTube on
So
the
cool.
Grass League channel.
Yep, it's
Yeah.
gonna be on. So the way we're doing it is we have a stage out here on the event lawn. So the concert's gonna be out on 18,
Okay.
where Bryce Fine and Quinn 92 are gonna be going crazy.
She's the next Drew Barry.
Yep, and we're
I want more.
and Drew Barrymore is gonna be hosting the draft over
That's
here.
perfect.
No, but there's we're gonna have a stage, and then all the teams are gonna have their own little headquarters with a table with all their signage, and it's like the war room. And so
Yeah.
we have Archie Bradley's gonna be kind of the host / entertainment with
Nice.
Nick Bonilla, the rapper, on Thursday night, and Jake is going to make some remarks as the commissioner.
Perfect.
But we're trying to make it feel like the NBA draft or the NFL
Nice.
draft, and it's. I mean, shoot!
When
can't
players
think
get announced, are they going to come up on stage and do the handshake and everything?
What is
and
what do they
maybe
do
a
in the
hug?
NFL?
They hug Roger Goodell.
Oh, they get a hat. So we're doing.
Hold up the jersey. Yeah.
Hate to say it, or I won't even break. But we have a hat deal. We don't have them. I haven't put it on yet. We're going to break the news that night. But we have a. So when they put
I think
the
you're
hat
breaking
on,
the news right now.
but when they put the hat on, it's also symbolic of just sports in general. When you put that hat on, you're drafted. You're on to your next opportunity. But it's pretty cool that we're going to use that to announce a hat partnership. So
Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
So
I was
awesome.
trying to think outside the box.
I have a feeling I already know who the hat partnership is with.
Wow.
We can't announce that though, can we?
Probably. We just hold off on that. Yeah, let's hold off. Yes.
might want to wait for tomorrow, or actually Thursday. That's Thursday, the draft.
Yeah. It's gonna be
Now,
a long week.
the projected purse is that I know money's not the biggest thing in the world or anything like that in these, but I believe that I saw something that said it was $100,000.
Correct. $100,000, but there's a lot of
That's
other
fantastic.
money going around
Oh yeah.
as well.
Oh yeah. We're gonna
yeah.
get it done, bro. I can't understand what you're signing. Here, come over here. Just ask me.
Please sign an autograph. That'll be
No.
everything.
Can't write.
You guys done yet?
What's going on, dude? He's in the final group.
What up, dog?
Lawrence Jarvie
All right,
playing with
man.
Jay Feely.
Oh
She
shit.
bailed on me tonight, so I'm playing by myself. He wants
Oh.
to play with me.
What
Oh,
time you
man.
team at?
I'll throw it in there.
25,
Matt will.
25.
I didn't bring mine.
What?
25. You want to play?
Well, whatever this thing wraps up, we'll come find you.
Okay, come find me.
Oh, love it.
Myself.
Wow.
I'm still.
He might be looking for a partner tomorrow night in the final group.
Woo.
Oh,
That's-
tomorrow night.
That's a good group. Yeah. There's a.
Oh,
Stand
geez.
over there like.
I mean, when the lights come on, I tend to show up. If you can't tell.
Yeah.
All right. Now, as we get beyond the purse, let's talk about the event. So, actually, I want to go back. Are there any players specifically that you're excited about in the qualifier?
I'm excited about almost. I mean,
All of them?
All of them. But there's some headliners. Like for instance, Riggs Johnston, who won.
Oh yeah, he's
He-
playing in it.
Yeah, he won the Australian
Love
Open.
that.
And I was cruising around, and sometimes you kind of get distracted when it says DP World Tour. The DP World Tour is the European
Yeah,
Tour.
yeah,
And
yeah.
when I grew up, that was
You're
almost as big as the PGA Tour.
100%.
And
They
so-
had their years.
And I'm like, oh my gosh! I'm like, he won the Australian Open in his second start. And you look at that leaderboard, he beat Cam Smith by 15 strokes.
Yeah.
He beat Joaquin Neiman, beat Mark Leishman, the list goes on. And Minwoo Lee was in that field. I'm like, and he's coming to the grass league? I'm like, what? And he's playing with Ben Herman from Silver Lake on the Tampa Bay
gosh,
Swamp Dogs.
Oh
And-
wow, yeah.
And their pairing is with the Dallas Horsemen, Michael Block and Ryder Epson.
wow,
What a group.
I don't care who you throw in a pairing.
Yeah,
It's going to be tough to pique my interest more than those four people in a group.
I might
Ryder
have to,
Epson is an
dude.
absolute
Why is this
stud.
not being televised?
I might have to
What?
agree with that.
The qualifier.
I mean, you got to start somewhere. The hope is that everything's televised at some point.
Yeah.
But
I mean, my goodness, this is primetime TV for
Yeah.
the qualifier.
I mean, I'm surprised CBS isn't out here following Butsy, but
Maybe
I know.
next, maybe
And I-
next year.
And I
Yeah.
just keep going. I'll play with whoever.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll play. Anyways, moving on from that.
Like the
let's-
guy that showed up at the Masters.
there's a
with
bunch of
gloves.
other good groups.
Dude,
So
I feel like I'm the Canadian kids that are just like traveling 24 hours
Oh,
to
yeah.
go to the Players Championship. They get free stuff. They get into the tournament. All of a sudden, they're going to TGL the following week, and
Mhm.
the Masters the following. Like it was absolutely nuts. Those
Home run.
Canadian kids. That
Dude,
that
yeah,
was
they
a
really
great.
struck
That was a
gold.
great story.
What? How do we get them here?
I know.
Do
Well,
they have cell phones?
do you
or
know
what?
who said most of that up was Monday Q with Brian French?
And he's going to be here.
We need a
Oh, Ryan's going to be here. I
Well,
love
Mark
that.
Baldwin's playing for the Canada
and
Hat Tricks
of
with
course.
Jared Dutois.
Oh, Dutois.
Yeah,
I bet you could
Wow.
reach out to them tonight.
And that
Probably
was-
be on a jet.
let's I'm going to do it right now. That was
They
my
probably would.
prediction. Was
Where are those Canadian
Baldwin and Dutois win the tournament. I mean, that's a bold prediction with all
That
the
is
names on the
bold.
field. But
What's he going out
kids?
tonight?
Bold.
What have you been going out? No.
Canada boys. What is it called? Canadian boys?
The Canadian boys.
The Canadian boys.
Yeah, that's all I remember on X and so forth. They were just going as the Canadian boys.
Imagine them getting the call. Oh, yeah. No, fuck yeah.
Oh, we'd be
there.
down and
I'd love that.
out and about tonight, but we'll be
Oh,
down
yeah.
tomorrow. That's the best accent I probably have is Canadian. Let's go with the next question, which is for, people that haven't been out here, which I've invited quite a few people and they've been purchasing some tickets that are coming out to the event and they want to know, is there going to be food? Is there what is the food situation? Because they're kind of planning on, we'll go out Friday after work. We're going to obviously peruse around the golf a little bit, but food, drinks,
how's the venue?
concert.
Have you seen the movie Hunger Games?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be like a variation of that for the fans. Yeah. There'll be just a small amount of food and just have at it. No. So we got food trucks everywhere throughout here. We got bars set up everywhere. We have our restaurant that just opened, Glen Rosa
Oh,
restaurant.
that's going to be open.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Wow.
this place is going to be humming. And then on hole 18, there's hospitality tents. There's 3 on the green. There's 1 that surrounds the tee box, which is also number 1 tee box. And then at number 5, there's the hospitality tent up there. Bars everywhere, food everywhere. The idea is we're trying to make this as comfortable as possible, and let people enjoy some great golf. Right, and the cool thing about number 15 is you're literally hanging over the ropes or over the railing, and the green is literally right there.
That's so awesome.
Someone tugs it a little left. I think the canopy should protect you, but from a blade left could be a problem. But again, it's the Hunger Games.
It's going to be humming.
Yeah. And Nick Bonilla is going to be hanging out in there. Bev Boys Golf, maybe doing some wraps and 15. And that's open to the GA. Number 1 and 18 tee box is open to GA. And you just walk in and have a good time.
Get after it.
We got a prediction here by Kyle over at Cart Barn Guys. JD and Xander win the whole thing, he says.
And the reason I'll back him up on that, JD, I feel like has coached half the people in the field. Xander Winston, I'm a big fan of. He was the leading money winner on the Dakota Tours, and then was asked not to return the following year. And I was like, anyone too crazy for the Dakota Tours has got my attention. But now he's back. There's a little bit of a misunderstanding, I guess. Great guy, great golfer. I would not be surprised to see them coming down the stretch with a chance to win on Saturday. So
Holy smokes.
What?
Holy smokes.
Oh, yeah.
I just want someone to bet this stuff. But
That's a different story.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Get someone to pick it up with the odds. Oh, boy.
That was actually a question that I
coming.
didn't have on the list, but I was going through and putting in some bets for this week. And not for obviously this, but I was going to ask you, I'm like, have you drawn any interest from odds makers about potentially doing odds for the Grass League?
Yeah, definitely interest here, there, and it's such a big industry and big companies that it's tough to, I don't know. There's a lot of red tape and a lot of, it's got to give it some years and get the interest going. I wouldn't be surprised if we have something going by our August event in December coming back, because there is interest way over my knowledge or, way over my pay grade, doing all that stuff. But we have got great lawyers. Jake's running with it. So I can't promise anything, but we will be betting on this someday.
You
I
have
love
some
that.
player
But-
history then where they'll actually take, some steep odds.
Oh, yeah.
Or like, hey, you can bet $5,000 on these guys.
But Butsy money line would be an epic bet.
Oh, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Big underdog out there.
Just wait.
Gila-
I ain't saying shit.
The Gila River Resorts is the title sponsor for this event.
Gila
That is-
River Resort and
In
casinos.
casinos.
River Resorts and Casinos. Yep. Correct.
What was the value prop you think that made them interested in becoming the title
Yeah.
sponsor?
That's a great question. I mean, from my perspective, they have a hotel, a casino, obviously for trying to attract people that typically come here. You know, I love to gamble, and I'm going to start going there all the time.
Golfers do love to gamble.
And quick fact, real quick, all the players in the field, if you get drafted, all of the players are given $100 chip to mark with their ball. And then, you know, you can go to the casino that night and
you got to
get,
be shitting.
That's amazing.
that's interesting marketing right there.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
But if you think about it,
You're
you're
sick.
you have all ages coming out here, you know, men and women coming to play in this event. And they're in golf, and everybody typically wants to attract golfers because of a very list of reasons. And I mean, it's kind of just a perfect breeding ground for people that might go to their casino. And there's a lot of transient people that come through here that are here for, you know, a month, here for a couple of weeks, and that like to gamble. You know, we get a lot of Canadians. We get a lot of people from Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan.
Where do you guys go?
Yeah. Yeah. And so they have a chance to really grab the attention of these people coming to town, because like, oh, I heard about the lighted golf course, and boom, if you're able to win them there, you know, they're going to keep going there instead of going to any other competitor.
I got to tell you, smart move by Gila River Resorts and Casinos.
And when I played, we did a match, and I was, you know, commentating with Mike Trout and Barry Enright, and I looked down, and I'm like, "What?" I asked Mike Trout, "I'm like, what is that marker?" And he's like, "Oh, Whirlwind." I was like, "Whirlwind," and that's like 2 days after we announced that that's our partner, and he was like, "Yeah, Gila River," and I'm like, if Mike Trout plays Whirlwind, so should you. This is everything. So, you know, it's all just, it all works itself out. It's weird stuff like that. So
synergy.
They are, we're very, very fortunate to have them as a, I'd like to say a partner rather than a sponsor, because we're going to do everything we can to help them out and achieve what they're looking to do. But we don't take it lightly. We're very, very fortunate.
Budsy, any questions?
I'm so damn nervous, man. I just can't even. No, I keep getting all these damn text messages. Like, I'll tell you later.
You have been sudden, and granted, you've got two talkers right here.
I don't want to take away anything.
You have been more silent. Like, I feel like when I see the percentage of who talked, like, because I get these after the episodes.
Oh gosh,
it's going to literally be 2%, 40%.
That's all I'm here for tonight. I'm just trying to be supportive. I'm in the on deck circle, and
it's perfect though.
And 90% of what comes out of my mouth is really fucking terrible. So, and I don't want to do that tonight. So
you're on your best behavior.
Yes, with the owners on property, it's like
just fair.
Yeah,
it's fair.
Trying to be good.
It's absolutely fair. Let's talk a little bit about the 2025 schedule for the Grass League, because one of the interesting things that I didn't expect that I ended up seeing is that the Summer Grind is an event that you guys are going to do. Is this the first time? I mean, I know you mentioned Mountain Shadows originally, but is this the first time that you guys are going off-site?
Yeah, since the inception of Grass League, it's the first time we're going off-site. And again, it's part of the allure of what we're doing here is like lighted par 3 golf. We're looking for 18 holes of championship golf. And that's very important, because at the foundation of all of this, we are all about competition. We want someone to make a putt, and I don't care who it is, and them celebrate, and it means something to them, and they earn it. So when looking for golf courses that we could do lighted golf on a par 3 course, it's very limited if you look around the country. And we thought long and hard, and we're like, that's part of the opportunity here. We truly believe more lighted par 3 golf courses are going to be built around the country, which can become stadiums and host sites for more Grass League events. But when we had to make a decision, you know, we know John Ashworth fairly well, and
over at Goat Hill,
and I mean, they have similar vibes, and they've, you know, we've been well aware of them, and been an inspiration for us what they've done there. Although it's not lighted, we have the idea of we're going to bring in, you know, makeshift lights, and
that's what I was just like. Can you retrofit the right golf course, like you said, with generators and lights and like?
Yeah, I mean,
good enough to host an event there under the lights.
Long term, it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
We would prefer it to be lighted, but for like Goat Hill, it's like, you know, that place is
legendary.
It's legendary, precisely. But you know, if you look back in golf and historically, from a marketing perspective, the Battle of Bighorn. Do you remember that?
Oh, God.
Of course.
When I saw the first commercials, like Sergio Garcia and female golfer, and you know, believe it was. I'm gonna botch it. But then Tiger Woods and somebody else, and they're like, and the last 3 holes will be under the lights. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I ended up watching the entire broadcast from hole 1 to 18 just because I wanted to see the 3 holes under the lights.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna draw inspiration from that and light up, a couple holes at the end, and it's the Battle of Bighorn all over again.
Really? Okay. So,
So just the
so
end of
Goat Hill Park is
Yeah.
not a fully lighted golf course.
No,
It's
no.
not lighted
Yeah,
at all.
okay.
And
Gotcha.
so
What's
yeah.
the spot
That I
out-
didn't know.
Indio Hills, isn't there?
Yep.
What's that place called?
Uh,
Because they
yeah,
have
Lights
there's,
at Indio.
There's some legendary, there's
Yep.
old school shit there. They have a skins game that's really big forever, and like
Believe me, it's on our radar. We've
Okay.
already talked to ownership. That's going to be in the works. The problem is, again, it's a similar climate here.
I got to get you in contact with David Geese, PGA Tour caddy. So he's on Bud Colley's back.
Okay.
He's in North Carolina, in right by where they are playing the PGA Championship. Why
Yep.
can't I think of the name? But that being said, there is a par 3 course that's going in that's going to be lighted in North Carolina, and he's like, "Man, we got to talk because this is going like this could be a spot for you guys to come out to on the East Coast."
Carolina tour. Let's go.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of ways you can conceptualize this, but like the idea for us is, let's say we have 4 tournaments, 8 tournaments or whatnot. We look at our tournaments like major championships. There's
Yeah.
4, maybe 5 on the PGA Tour,
Mhm.
the players plus the 4 major championships.
Sure.
If we can have 4 sites that, maybe we don't own, but we have a relationship, and now it becomes like, I didn't get into the GCO, but I got into the GL Championship, and I got to play in North Carolina, and then
Mhm.
when you start to think, I'm 36
Well,
years.
Hollow. That's where it's at. But the par 3 course is near there, I believe.
Okay. But like when you start to think about golf and life when you're 36 years old, like I'm kind of, running out of my prime right now.
You're in your prime. You kidding me?
Yeah, I hope
you.
so.
I see you running around this place like no other.
Springing.
Yeah.
But like the opportunity to play in events like that and to be relevant, even if you're not on a roster and qualify in, like that keeps people amped up. That
yeah.
keeps people from,
It does.
making bad life choices. Okay.
It does.
So
Now the GL Championship in December is back here.
back
correct?
here. Yes. To end the year, crown a champion for the season long standing and find another GL champion at Billy Haynes and Dan Buckner.
And you and I have talked offline in regards to just like other stuff that is like going to happen throughout the year
Yep.
a bit. I mean, do you want to share some of those plans or just some of the ideas around kind of in between these big events?
Yeah, we've been testing with a production company here in town about there's something about live sports. It's why we're so excited about going live on NBC Peacock. When it's live, it's you don't have control, and it's like there's something about that. So when we look at the landscape of like YouTube golf and everything, we want to start doing live matches under the lights.
That's
think
awesome.
think about when NBA, on NBC theme song comes on. Like when I was a kid, I'd stop and I'm like, I have to watch this. And we want to create something that can garner that kind of attention. And so it's the lights, it's par 3, it's live. And the idea is like, what if these owners, it's like, what's hypothetically Butsy and I own a team and we're like, okay, let's
We're gonna put our guys up. Yeah.
put up your best 2. I'll put up my best 2,
Little boxing
$50,000
match.
bucks.
Yep.
It's like I got Matt playing with whoever you're playing with tomorrow. We'll figure that out. By the end of this podcast, you're
Nipples
going to be
just got hard.
in the
Well,
the
hang on a
field.
second. As
Look
you
at
bring that up,
Zoom in on those.
as you bring this up. So, Maddie, there's a spot at 228 that needs another group. Me and you. Do they have any Guinness out there?
Yeah,
We
Trevor,
actually
yeah,
have
he's-
Guinness on tap here.
Oh my!
Yeah.
Is that enough? Is that enough?
So Trott's throwing it out there. Shit, I just feel like the universe in some way is going to have me playing tomorrow. We'll find out.
Yep.
We shall find out. So Trot, to that point, I have totally fixed the chipping yips, which is all due to you, by the way. So Trot Golfer, I went out there. He's a real person.
Okay.
So he's not like AI or generated.
Yeah.
I met him.
Okay.
And within about 10 minutes, he fixed my chipping. And it wasn't perfect right away, but after some practice,
Yeah.
completely gone. And I had gotten so bad because of the chipping hips. If I missed a green, it was an automatic, at least a bogey.
Yeah.
And I could be like on the fringe.
Yeah.
And like a double bogey wasn't certain.
So you had some real problems.
Real
I had met
problems.
Trot in person, and he
Yeah.
walked up to me, and I didn't know who he was, and he proceeded to, before introducing himself, roll me a filterless cigarette and hand it to me.
So when
That's
I went
how we
in,
met.
he goes, "Come on into my office," and sure enough, he rolled
Yeah.
a cigarette while we.
No, he's
sat
like
there
the
and
most
talked.
classic.
Yeah.
Like, he's
grassy.
He's got a spot in the
He's
grass.
He's
So
grassy.
here's the thing.
Yeah.
He's got $1,200 cash. He's ready. He's ready to play tomorrow. So
Woo. Is that real?
there we go.
Wow.
All right.
I told you. I mean, stuff happens fast around here.
It does.
It really does. As soon as you know it, this is going to be the podcast studio for Paul and Golf. I mean, my God, things are happening.
Butsy can sleep right there.
Yeah.
You know, we can
I got a cot right there.
Yep.
It's perfect. I mean, this is such a vibe. This has been, I'll say, this has been one of my favorite episodes.
Oh, by far.
Yeah,
One of my most talkative.
It's one of my favorite nights, to be honest.
this is unreal.
Ever.
Oh,
That
you can
I-
feel
you can feel the
You
energy
feel the
coming
magic.
out of this place.
Well, you
where,
said it to me. We made. I
Hmm.
mean, we made a little fun of it, but it's romantic.
Yeah,
That's a word that you used, and that's
you did the
that's
first
the
time you
best
came on.
word.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
the best word for it. So
it's
Yeah.
something you care about, you're passionate about, and like that doesn't happen in pro golf right now.
it's
Yeah.
gonna be dope when people know the names after a while, and they're like, "What time does he tee off?" All right, cool. And I'll pop on. Like, I got to get home by 6 because they tee off. You know
Yeah.
what I mean, like, I got to catch the coverage.
Yeah.
I mean,
Soon.
I'm excited to watch Butsy play tomorrow. I can't
I
tell
am
you how
so
excited I am.
to play, dude.
I'm going to
I
be
can't wait.
emotionally invested in that round of golf.
Oh yeah, and Los. Let's not forget the.
Oh, I mean,
partner.
his partner. Can we talk about? his
Yeah,
partner?
let's talk
This
about
guy
Butsy's
is
partner.
he's a fucking riot.
I mean, it's such a good story that him and Andy Carlton, I met at the Skins game last year before the GCO. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy your guys' qualifier spot. You know, you're getting in. I believe in you too. And I was right. But, you know, before the tournament happened, we had the NCAA come down on us and tell 8 college golfers that they can't play. And so I'm like, okay, here we go. Now we got to redirect players into franchises and all this stuff. So I call Andy. I'm like, hey, man, I got news for you, man. You're playing for Canada tonight. And he's like, yo, Los, we're playing for Canada. And
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, hell yeah, I'll see you in an hour when you show up. And then I go back in. I was like, no, he's playing for Michigan.
Yeah.
And I call him back. I'm like, hey, Andy, I've got even better news, man. You're playing for the Michigan Auto Aces. He's like, yo, Los, we're playing for Michigan. They end up qualifying in, and then they finish, I guess, one shot off the lead from the playoff. They finished 13 under, and Los chunks it on 18 with a chance to win, and Andy Carlton steps up and puts it to 12 feet, and that was like a big moment because it's like, here's Los, hits a bad shot, as we all do, on the 18th hole in front of everyone, and Andy Carlton's like, everyone just quiet down real quick, I got my boys back.
Yeah.
That's the cool part about
Team.
two-man scramble.
Yeah, it
team
really
golf.
is. You can pick somebody up. Like
Yeah.
You're not.
you
out
don't
of it.
have to play a perfect round of golf. You got to make a lot of birdies, though. You got to make a lot
You
of
gotta
birdies.
roll the rock.
Yeah. And when Carlos missed that putt, I did cry a little bit in the broadcast booth. So that's the honest truth.
Do you want to talk about quickly before we head off air about how you got into the booth? Because this is kind of a unique story too, but you don't have to share all the details behind it unless you want to.
Well, I mean, it's when you do a startup golf league, it's tough to know all of the information of the people and the players and everything. And so the broadcast team comes with the production team, and they're all like, okay, Todd's going to give us the down low on the players in the field. And, we're back here in the green room and got my Excel sheet, and I'm like, okay, if he plays with him, and then 30 minutes later, as I'm doing this complex, Gantt chart, the guy's like,
Oh yeah.
we're going to need you on the broadcast because I don't know one person in the field. And so by default, I was asked to
You're
be in it.
in.
And so,
And your background in school is in media, right?
sports broadcasting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I
so
mean, it's obvious.
I diverted quickly from sports and did a fishing documentary where I lived in a trailer traveling around the country for
this
6
makes
months.
a lot of sense. It was romantic.
Yeah. I won't tell you the name of the
What's
documentary.
that called? Yeah,
I can't
I'll watch
say
it
that.
tonight.
Yeah.
I will too.
Oh,
It's
actually.
pretty embarrassing. I'm trying to delete the footage off the internet.
Oh, I gotta-
is this
I
on
gotta see
Netflix?
this.
I've been trying to get
Is
a
it
hold
on
of
Amazon? Is it on?
It's on YouTube and Vimeo, and Vimeo won't call me back because I'm trying to
Wow.
actively delete that.
Is there
But
some
Dude,
bad
we
stuff
gotta-
in it?
we-
Oh,
no, it's just I'm like,
you felt like a nerd or what?
I feel like I'm in a new stage in life. I got 3
Yeah,
kids,
no, I get it. So, yeah, no, I understand.
There's nothing bad. It's just like, what
Just-
is this guy doing?
Makes you cringe a little bit.
Yeah. you
Okay.
know, so,
All right. We don't need to watch.
but
I
yeah,
love that. I'm definitely watching it. That sounds awesome. All right. Well, there you have it, folks. That's how Todd Dobson came about and getting into the broadcast booth. Absolutely phenomenal. And if you're watching on Peacock on Saturday, you're going to absolutely love this guy. You're back in the booth this week, right?
Yeah, and the booth's
Perfect.
actually on the 18th
18th.
seat box
Yeah.
with the behind us is way the
We
green
wanted to
stuff.
do it tonight. I wonder what you guys are going to do, though, if it's super windy.
We're gonna batten down the hatches.
It'll work itself out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
God will stop the wind for the broadcast.
Yeah,
I
love that.
guarantee that.
Love that. There we go.
Love
So,
it.
yeah, I mean, I love that for you. I love that for you. And who knows? We shall see. But tomorrow, folks, starting at, hang on, I got the whole schedule here. I'll go back. I'll do the rundown once again. Schedule events for the week, because this is now, I feel like the city of Tempe should make this officially Grass League Week. I think that would be really cool by the city of Tempe. But Wednesday, which is tomorrow, April 30th, the qualifier starts at 11 a.m. and goes until 9 p.m. Butsy here is going to be going at 4:34 p.m. in the afternoon. Come on out, support your guy, and let's have a day tomorrow. Thursday, May 1st, is going to be the first ever Grass League draft from 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. And then Friday, May 2nd, opening round, 12 p.m., shotgun wave number 1, and then 5 p.m., shotgun wave number 2. And if you don't know what any of that means, it means players are going to be playing at 12 p.m., and then another set of players are going to be playing at 5 p.m. Okay. The after party on Friday, headliner, Bryce Fine. She's the next Drew Barry, and we want more.
Limited tickets are they've
Yeah.
gone pretty quick. So
And
if
you
you're
know
thinking
how many
about
are
coming,
left?
The word has
ballpark?
gotten out.
Yeah, they've gone through a bunch of them.
8 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. is that after party. Make sure to grab it now on grassleague.com. Saturday, May 3rd, final round, 10 a.m. it starts and goes until 9 p.m. Peacock with Todd Dobson is going to be starting at 6 p.m. Pacific time. After party headliner is Quinn XC. I don't know. I'm so sorry. If people love him and that's their dude, I'm so sorry. I probably know his music. I'm terrible with names.
he's pretty good. He's pretty
8
big.
p.m. to 11:30 p.m.
Yeah.
I know. No, I know. I've seen like the name. I just have never heard anybody pronounce
I
it.
get hiccups too. Whenever I
I
see
don't
a Roman
remember
numeral,
what it
I
is.
run away. So I think it's
So-
Quinn 92. Yeah,
Is it Quinn 92?
I believe so. I'll check.
Is that it?
I'll verify the facts.
Wow,
after the
that's
podcast.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow, that just hit you out of nowhere. I love it. Now, that is the entire Grass League Open, folks.
Probably Uber here if you're coming.
Yeah,
right?
so
Probably
I'm
not a bad idea.
going to tell you right now, the parking situation is going to be wild. So make sure to grab an Uber, Lyft. I believe they are both sponsors this week of the Bull Hook Golf Podcast, as well as what's the one without the drivers?
Oh,
The Waymos.
We were
Waymo.
Waymo.
Scared the
Waymo.
shit out of me.
Yeah.
I actually prefer them now. I
Do
love
you
them.
really?
Love
Yeah.
them. They're
Yeah.
great. They're absolutely fantastic. And you get recorded while you're in there, which is great.
Yeah.
So I just put on a show. I'll be in there by myself, just like singing my heart out.
Talking to the car.
Yep. Well, somebody's watching it. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I love you. And I
Live
feel like they
monitor.
say it back.
You
So,
talk to them through
Yeah.
the car.
yeah, I'm fine. I'm normal. That's it, folks. That's where we're going to end it tonight. Grass League week. And we do want to give a shout out to our sponsors.
Yes,
Devro Golf. That is DEVEREUX golf.com. Utilize the promo code. Oh, I'm starting to mess that up now. Utilize the promo code PullHookGolf20 at checkout for 20% off your entire order at devrogolf.com. We did get word from them today that they are absolutely crushing it right now with the promo code.
Yep.
So we appreciate
Very
every
happy.
single listener that is purchasing gear, and that journey to Georgia was phenomenal as well, that whole entire collection. And Anti-Live, did I miss Live Korea and Mexico recap segment? You did. Next week, we will recap those.
Yeah, sorry about that.
We apologize. But, the storylines are crazy for that as well. No, this is Grass League week, and we are thankful. Thank you, Todd, for having us here on site. Yeah, that's
Can we get a
all right.
promo code Butsy for tomorrow? Just for tomorrow?
Well,
Just hammer the promo code
hammer
Butsy.
the promo.
Maybe on beers for the patrons that mentioned.
Oh my
that?
god! If you mention it to
Special
your
ticket.
bartenders at Glen Rosa here at Grass Clippings for the Grass League qualifier
Don't
tomorrow,
quote that just yet. That could get out of
they
hand.
will absolutely not allow you to drink any more alcohol.
Yeah.
Okay. So make sure to mention Butsy promo code to your bartenders
Get thrown
out there at Glen Rosa and get yourself tossed.
That's the cutoff point right there.
That's
We
how
love you
know.
guys. Peace out. 8 Town down. Peace out, everybody.
Very nice.